Hey guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, I'm going to break down UV unwrapping of a character. So on my screen here, I have one of the default generic characters that comes with Maya 2019. Okay, there he is there. So what we're going to do is basically UV unwrap this character, the arms, the legs, the head, etc. Okay, now I get it. There are many different ways to go about UV unwrapping. It depends on the character, the shape, the contours, etc. All right, I will open up the UV editor here just to do a quick walkthrough so we understand a few things. I went UV editor. Now in here, this character is already UV unwrapped. I'll just move it over a little bit just so as we can all see a bit better. That might be a little bit better for you. Okay, so here we are in the UV editor, and you'll notice that in the editor itself you have your main work area, and on the right you have the UV toolkit. Okay, this might be undocked off to the side perhaps. You can always just click it and drag it and drop it like that. Now it's docked in the right hand side. Okay, what we're interested in using here will be the cut and sew. So down here we'll be using these two tools, cut and sew. Okay, down here as well, the sew. So here's the cut, here's the sew. All right, we might even try the interactive cut and interactive sew, and then later on we will then move into the unfold. Here's unfold here, and I will mention that these tools are all available up here on the main menu. Okay, so here's cut and sew. They're right here as well. You could even undock them, those little perforated dots here. You can move them like that and keep them there if you wish. It's your call. And under modify, you've also got unfold, okay, which is Control plus U. All right, so in essence, what are we doing here? We're basically taking this character and think of it in terms of like a, say, a doll. Okay, you want to pull the arms off, pull the legs off, pull the head off, and then when we want to take each body part and unwrap them. What does that mean? It means, for example, in this character, because it's already been UV unwrapped, you can see the white lines which denote the cuts. So the arm's already been cut, and I can show you that by right clicking on, say, a shell there, and if I hit number 4, there it is. So you can right click and go UV shell. It's like a part, okay, a section. They call them shells in the UV editor, just like shells on the beach. So here we go. There we go. We've got the arm, and you'll notice it's got one cut all the way around. You have to make sure the cuts meet. They go all the way. You do not want them suddenly stopping halfway, because then it will unwrap. It'll breach that area and create a much larger shell. And there's a cut inside the arm. Why is there a cut inside the arm? Think of it like a cylinder, or say a Coke can, and you need to cut it right down the length of the can to be able to unfold it flat. Ultimately, we want to end up with a nice flat 2D texture like that. Okay, and we need to do that everywhere, basically all over the character. And you'll notice on this particular character, it's got a cut up the back, okay, to unfold the body, sorry, the torso, like that. All right, there's the torso, and here is the head, all nicely unfolded. There it is. Just move this over a little bit. Okay, there's the head, and you'll notice it in our UV editor here. And one thing I will mention is notice the head is just about the same size as the body, the torso, because the head is very important. This is the area that we tend to focus on when we animate. When the viewer, the audience, tend to look mostly at the head. I think this is the foot, and this is the sole of the foot. Okay, and what do we have here? The leg. Yep, left leg, right leg, arms, etc. There's the wrist, and it looks like they've done the fingers individually. So we're going to start from fresh. What does that mean? It means we're going to UV unwrap this character again from the start. So how do I do that? The best method I've found is to start off, select your whole character, You could hit F8 to select, see, F8, and then go UV, and we'll do a planar map. And I'm going to do it from the Z-axis because my character's pointing Z-axis forwards, and we get this. So it's got a planar map looking straight at the character. Okay, good. You could even have used the camera mapping, so UV camera based. Just make sure you're looking directly at the character like that from the front. So this is a really good starting point in our UV editor because we can understand each body part. You recognize it. Here's a leg, here's a hand, here's a head. Yes, it's obvious. So what we want to do is right click and go into edge. And now you can either select the edges, and I tend to double click, and you'll notice this edge loop, and it's all about the loops, has not gone all the way around. You need to make sure it at least loops all the way around. I'll try this one does. Okay, so I will use that one. I could have gone this one and just manually selected them all the way around as well. Okay, I'll go this one, and rather than doubling my work, why don't I turn on symmetry in the x-axis? Now I've got both of them, left and right. Okay, while I'm here I could probably even do the wrist, so I'll come down, double click, I've got the wrist now, both wrists. And what else? What about the inside of the leg? By the way, I don't have to select the edge loops inside my UV editor. I could have selected them in my main viewport as well. I could be doing it from here, and just hit number 5 on my keyboard to bring up that. So I'll double click here, there we go, just to show you that. I'll go to number 4, and this time I notice it has not looped all the way around, so we'll go in manually, and still not. I'm going to go around the back here. Can be difficult to see, but take your time, there's no rush. Okay, that looks better. It looks to me like it's now looping all the way around. If I hit F on my keyboard, that will focus on that particular area. Great, that's now looping all the way around, and you need a cut in the groin, so I'll cut it right through here. You need that cut, that's important. Whoops. Let me go back to perspective. Just in the groin area there. Okay, you need to cut like a bridge all the way across underneath. Okay, fantastic. So I will now do a cut, and I'll do it in my UV editor so you can see that. So I'll go to cut and cut. There we go. I've just created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cuts. Yeah. Let's also do the ankle. Double click. Yeah, that's good. So I'll go cut. There we go. Fantastic. So let's do the neck. Looks like it's gone up and around the character here. I do not want that. Let's try one down. That's a bit better. I'm going to move into my viewport here. This allows me to get around the back. Difficult to get around the back of the character in your UV editor. This is why I tend to do a lot of my cuts through this area inside my main viewport. Not the best topology on this character, so it's not too bad, I feel. Here we go, it's going all the way around now. So let's do another cut. This time I'll do the cut up here, which is cut, which is also Shift plus X. Where is it? Shift plus X. There we go. Let's put a cut through the back and through the back of the head. So you need to do it right up the center of the back of the head. Try and avoid putting any cuts through the front of the character. Want to avoid that best you can. I'll come right up to say there. Now I'm going to come out. It has to be a T shape. Try and do a T, the letter T. There you go. There's my T. So I'll do my cut so you can see that T. There it is, a T shape going around to the side. I like to personally, I like to cut the eyes. This character doesn't have any eye sockets. It's fairly basic, but normally I would at least do a cut inside the eye sockets. So I'll do this one. I'll hit cut. By the way, you could probably hit G to repeat last action, and I tend to do a cut inside the mouth. Try and avoid it on the outside of the lips. Just for this one I will do the outside just so you can see it, because this character doesn't have any lips, but normally you do the inside of the lips, not outside. Let's carry on. Next up I need to do the sole of the foot, so we'll come down really low here, nice and low. Make sure, actually I'll go this one, there we go, that looks like it's wrapped all the way around. Okay, so I'll do another cut. Fantastic. I like to put a cut at the back of the foot so it unfolds nicely. Ultimately, you want to think of yourself, a good analogy is being a pattern maker for a fashion company, and you want to so place all these cuts and then unfold the material onto your pattern cutting table. So we need another cut. And oops, we forgot to do a cut inside the leg. So I'll do that now. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to just move the UV editor out of the way for a moment, just so you guys can see things. So I'll do a cut, say, from here, up, to here. There we go. I'm holding, I tend to select one edge, then I'll go along the line, the edge loop, all the way up as far as I can while holding shift, and then I'll double click. That will select the entire line up to that area. There we go. So I'll do one more cut. You'll notice the legs I've done inside the leg. There we go. Oh, we better do inside the arm too. That one's coming down here, so I'm holding shift now and double click. There we go. Cut. Nice. Whoops, let's do the hand too. We forgot the hand. This is probably one of the more difficult areas to highlight. I like to do around the inside edge like that of each finger. Okay. I like to also not do all the hand. I tend to come all the way around and stop at the outside. I do not do the outside, because when I unfold, it's like a butterfly, like that. Okay, so let's try that now. I'll do that one, say, I'm just getting an idea here. You know what, I'm going to come through the fingers. I'm going to go through the bottom of the fingers here. Boom, boom, boom. Very manual process on the fingers. Okay, I'm just holding shift the whole time and double clicking. Shift, I'm holding shift still. I have not let go of the shift key. Whoops, better undo that. That was my mistake. Whoops, looks like I grabbed one there too. If you do make a mistake, you can always highlight and hold control. Okay, nearly there. Okay, let's take this through to the thumb. I could hit cut now, by the way, and then I can carry on. See, there's my cuts. Let's carry on. I'm going to take this one through here and around the thumb. Up to here, and I'll go through the bottom of the thumb around this area. And like I mentioned before, I do not want to go all the way around the back. So I'll stop around here, and I'll do a cut. So there we go. What does that look like? Looks like that. Whoops, looks like I've missed a bit. See, and always inspect it after you've done a cut. Look at that, I missed one right there. So I go cut, not a big deal, there's the cut. Okay, now here comes the fun part. It's time to unfold the mesh and see what we get. So we will select the mesh. Actually, no, sorry, we don't just select the whole mesh. We need to break them into little parts, bits and pieces. Remember we were talking about how it's like a doll. We need to remove the arms and legs. So how do we do that? Well, I can right click, UV shell, click a shell. Great. we know that it's separated. It's not one large shell. There's no, there are cuts all the way around, so they've been separated. Okay, now if I go unfold, remember over here, unfold, unfold, and we get that. Looking good. I can move these up. By the way, just remember I have symmetry turned on. This is why I'm getting both of them at the moment. I could move those out of the way. This is my working area, the 0 to 1 and the X and Y, 0 to 1. Sorry, in the U and V, or in the UV editor. Better get that right. Let's try this one. Unfold. Fantastic. Move them up. You don't have to move them, it's just I like to move them so as I can work a little bit better inside my on my table, we'll say. Now these two are overlapping. Do you notice that? Because they're overlapping, you probably want to go Object Symmetry off and just select one at a time, move them out. Okay, let's try the feet. Turn back on symmetry. Actually no, we'll just go unfold them all separately. Oh, look, I'm fine with that. This one, unfold. I could probably just hit G. There you go. G, just to repeat each tool. G. So I'm just unfolding each time. Looks like I need to do it twice. Grab those 2 feet. This is the bottom of the foot. Here is the top of the foot. The shoe, sorry. I'll put them like that, just for now. Okay, let's try this torso. Let's see what we get. Move those out. I'll hit G. Or unfold. Seems like I have to do it twice. Whoop, what's happening there? So I'm just going to check this. I thought that would have unwrapped a little bit. Oh, there's a problem. I needed to put a cut down the back of the character, and I haven't done that. So I'm going to undo this. So I'm going to come into this character's back here. See, I either put a cut down either side of the torso, under the armpits running down to the side of the leg, or alternatively, you could put one straight up the back of the character, like from the neck, from here, all the way down. I'll go to there just for now, and I'll go cut, cut, just so I can see it. Come underneath into the groin area. It's got to go all the way underneath, remember, from here to there. See, it's got to meet up with the other cut. And I'll go cut. Okay, let's try that unfold again now. It should now open up the back. So right click, shell. You always have to select your shell before you unfold. Unfold. Yeah, that looks much better. I'm really happy with that. Let's try the head. I'll hit G, repeat the last action. Nice. And yeah, I'll unfold these two. This is the mouth. I'm just hitting G. That's all I'm doing, guys. Okay, fantastic. That's looking much nicer. Now it's about positioning and placing everything back inside the box. Now, the one-to-one space. Now, I could try using layout. So I'll get rid of the unfold. Arrange and layout. Where is it? Layout there. Watch this. It lays them out automatically. But having this is, that's good, but notice my face, the head, is very small in comparison to, say, the torso. And I need to do some manual scaling. So I'm going to bring that right up. So this is what I mean. You really do need to start. A bit of a manual process is better in placement. For example, these soles of the feet, they could probably be a lot smaller, because the fact is you really don't see them unless your character's jumping or running, etc. Then you might want to scale them up. The hands, yeah. So I'm just going to move these out a little bit and then start placing them again. I'll grab these out of the way. I'll start with the torso. Straighten it. By the way, you could even turn on, I'll make a little bit more space here so you can see things. Where are they? There they are. The checker, I'm looking for the checker one. Boom, 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 boom. Not seeing it. Those ones off. Okay, let's just carry on. Bring this one down a bit, maybe to the bottom even, and you can rotate them. Let's place the head, hitting W. These look like the legs. Yes, they are. I'll turn this guy around a little bit. There we go, just so as you can see what I'm actually doing here. And I'm going to turn off all right, bring the leg. I'll make the leg a bit smaller. Actually, it's too small. Bring it in, rotate it. Might even rotate it upside down like this. So I'm purely thinking about the best position to take up as little space as possible. Just whatever you do, do not let them overlap. You do not want any overlapping of UV shells. That's what you do not want. Otherwise, when you start texturing, you'll suddenly notice, uh-oh, my texture's flowing through to another part of the character, of the mesh. Looks like we go a little bit smaller here. Okay. Hands. Okay, so that's UV unwrapping. That's about it. That's it in a nutshell. There are a lot more tools. I know that. I understand that. But for a character and a quick method that I've shown you here, it works, and it's fairly simple and it's effective. Okay, I hope that helps, guys. I'm just going to move this last one into place. So, of course, I can reposition these and scale some of them up so as we get better use of the space. And you take a bit of time doing that. Spend about, say, 10 minutes. Just make sure you get them all scaled up, nicely laid out. Okay. This one here, the leg is outside the one-to-one space. That is not good. They need to be inside the space. So I will just rotate this actually. Maybe it's better that way. And bring this one over. And bring this one back in a bit. Maybe like that's better. Okay. So that's important. They're not overlapping and they're not going outside the one-to-one UV space. Okay, so that's it. Now I'm in a really good position to start my texturing. And by the way, you need to have your character UV unwrapped and delete the history on your mesh, Alt-Shift-D, before you take it into, say, a program or an application like Substance Painter. Okay, so there you have it. It's now nicely UV unwrapped. I was looking for the, where is it? This tool. There it is. The checker pattern. So you can actually see it. And it's important when you view it that, you're seeing the checker there. So let's have a look at that. So you want these square checkers all over. They don't necessarily have to be the same size, but it does help if they're approximate. Notice there's the face, they're a lot smaller. That's because there'll be more detail in the face and the head. Okay, so inspect your character, make sure there's not too much stretching. Look, there's a bit of stretching in here, so I might even come in here and actually fix that, and this is where you start moving into other tools. I will just turn off the checker quickly, that one, and you could start using other tools. For example, there are tools here like grab, smear, pinch, so you can actually massage the UVs. So you'd use UVs. UVs are the little points. You start to move them around a little bit if required. Okay guys, hope that helps, and thanks for watching.